Yes. Just looking at the actual laws. Yes. Let me see if I can pull that up again. Oh. Now, this concept, June 1st to June 12th, right? Motion hearing, Brent Baston, no attempt of service. Ouch. June 12th to July 31st. Two attempts of service not served. What happens when you attempt service and then you're not able to serve the person? Yeah. Well, first of all, yes, you have to attempt service when you reissue the protection order before the next temporary protection order hearing. Yeah. Now, you could prove that it did get served, oops, and then the judge or court commissioner will decide at the hearing whether to grant the order for protection. Ooh. The court cannot continue with the hearing if there's no proof of timely service on the respondent. Then it says the order for protection or reissue temporary must be filed with the clerk. The clerk makes copies as described above, including copies for you to take with you. Unless respondent was at the hearing and received a copy of the order, a packet containing either the order for protection, yes, or the reissue temporary protection order and a petition for the order for protection is forwarded to respondent's law enforcement agency for service on the respondent. Now, you can't a return of service form from law enforcement. Well, on 8/30 of 2013, you attempted service 10 weeks later. That would have been all of September, all of October, and the first week or week and a half, depending on how it actually worked. Approximately 9 weeks later, you issued it for 2 years. Now, a copy of either the signed protection order or the reissued temporary protection are forwarded to law enforcement. Now, you only have to try to serve a person twice. You had an obligation to attempt service from June 1st to June 12th. You didn't do that. You could have motioned the court and said you just got too busy, and they reissued the temporary protection order, but you have 14 days, that's until June 26th, to attempt service again. Serving me on June 22nd, yes. The attempt of service, return of service, not served, not served, issuing it without the appearance of the petitioner. There's no way you could have had a court hearing without the petitioner being in court and without proof of service. Now you say, well, I want you to remove it. You committed a crime. Now, you cannot proceed if there's no proof of service. Now, the public defender, Jack, violated my civil rights when he allowed for the court to have another hearing. He himself has read on the actual protection order, yes, that there was no attempt of service. Oh, well, there was no actual proof of service. Yeah. Now, I know that this concept of the Violence Against Women's Act, yes, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of actual or perceived race, Caucasian, no, Polish, yeah, color, Caucasian, religion, Christian, national origin, American citizen, sex, male, gender identity, I'm male, as defined in paragraph 249C4 of the Title 18 of U.S. Code, sexual orientation, yes, heterosexual, or disability, even if I was a fucking crazy lunatic, you can't violate the person's right to due process. Does Collin County and Jefferson County understand that? You can't say treatment, and you can't. You have to protect the rights of the disabled. Those that have had mental health evaluations, yes. That have had restoration treatment, yes. That have actually been accused of crimes, yes. It does not give you license to violate them once they're identified as having a disability. Now, be excluded from participating in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity funded in whole or in part with funds made available under the Violence Against Women Act, and any other program or activity funded in whole or in part with funds appropriated for grants, cooperative agreements, and other assistance administered by the Office of Violence Against Women. Now, as a male, white, Polish, heterosexual, that is not disabled, for you to refuse me my rights and my resources because you did not issue this in accordance with the full faith and credit provisions of the VAWA 18 U.S. Code 2265. Means I'm not only suing you for violating the requirements of the VAWA, I'm suing you for depriving me of my victim's rights. Now, in 2011, you did not give me notice or opportunity to be heard. You served me on Guam after you had violated the requirements of the VAWA. You're owing me a lot of fucking money. Now, I keep telling you that you cannot exclude me from participating in, denying me the benefits of, or subjecting me to the discrimination under any activity or program funded whole or in part. Now, that takes us back to the Federal Law Enforcement Center. Let's look at it again. For every partner of the that receives any funding. There's that word creed, religious creed. Yes. I'm going to sue you for everything that they're receiving because of your refusal to enforce the requirements of the law. Now, this 2017 student handbook, of all those that receive Treasury funding, because this was a Treasury Department agency, yes, jurisdiction over state offenses. Hang on, let me just turn it like this. Yes. Now, what's the probability that every time you decided to violate my rights and I informed the United States Forest Service, Fish and Wildlife Service, and they said, well, we don't have jurisdiction, but you do, because you can't have knowledge of a crime. I can sue every fucking park ranger that can arrest any person. Not a citizen's arrest when you have a badge on. When you have a badge on, you're obligated to enforce the laws. Now, let's say you're in the forest. 911. I'm being victimized as domestic abuse. Do the police chiefs run up on top of the mountain? Well then, can the Forest Service arrest those that are domestic abusers? Sure the fuck can. Now, you're out there doing your hiking, sleeping in a tent at the top of Hurricane Ridge. Yes. You decide to bring out your bottle of Jack, get in a fucking fight, and all of a sudden somebody's calling 911. Do they have to enforce VAWA law? They sure the fuck do. And when I inform them as an American citizen that my civil rights are being violated, they have to enforce the fucking law. It doesn't matter if I'm in a national force or not.